Okay, we're on 102B13, which is hair care product knowledge. Okay, I cannot even stress the importance of knowing your products, knowing how they work on certain types of hair. All that is just, it's huge, and being able to pick the right product for the person and knowing how it works. So let me get this screen shared with you. Okay, so we've got our hair care product knowledge. Like I said before, you know, what's the best shampoo or gel or something like that? Well, you know, what's the first thing someone does when they find a product they really like? They buy it, 2 of them usually. Okay, so understand the physical and chemical characteristics of cosmetics. Yeah, you need to understand all of that, all of it. Okay, so when we talk about cosmetics, everything that you purchase comes in one of these forms: a solution, a suspension, an emulsion, an ointment, a soap, or a powder. Everything that you buy, that you use, are going to come within one of these 6 classifications. There's this book called the United States Pharmacopoeia, and it's this like huge book with medicines and cosmetics and stuff like that in it, and all the definitions and things like that. So the Federal Drug and Cosmetic Act of 1938 defined cosmetics as articles intended to be rubbed, poured, sprinkled, or otherwise applied to the human body or any part thereof for cleansing, beautifying, promoting attractiveness, or altering the appearance. So that's what that FDA Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act of 1938 stated. Prior to that, anybody could just go and like make anything in their bathtub and sell it, I guess. So this one came out with an actual definition and certain things that we will have to know about when we're going to be purchasing products, or if you're trying to make them, you know, that's where quality control came out, and everything else came out with that. So the first one we're going to look at is a solution. Okay, this is where you have 2 or more kinds of evenly dispersed molecules. Okay, so these are evenly dispersed and they are miscible. Miscible, M-I-S-C-I-B-L-E, means that it can be mixed together and they stay mixed together. They will not separate. Okay, they usually consist of 2 different types of is that on here? No, it doesn't. Solute. So this is a substance that dissolves into liquid. S-O-L-U-T-E will dissolve into liquid. And then you have a solvent. This is what dissolves the liquid. So if you think of Kool-Aid and water, Kool-Aid would be your solute, water would be your solvent. Hot chocolate mix is your solute, and then you have your solvent. So what do we use that falls into that category? Well, we use bleaches because, you know, it's a substance that dissolves. It's a powder. You mix it with developer, you get a liquid. When you mix this, it can be a solid, a liquid, a gas. Hydrogen peroxide would be an example of a gas that's mixed with liquid to form a solution. So hair color, hydrogen peroxide, it's a solution, right? It doesn't separate when it sits. So those are some of the things that we do use. Now there's 3 classes of solutions. You have a dilute solution, you have a concentrated solution, and a saturated solution. A dilute solution contains a small quantity of the solute compared to the quantity of the solvent. So it means that there's mostly just more water than there is anything else in it. A concentrated one means that there's a large quality of the solute in comparison to the quality of the solvent, which means now you have more of your solute than you do like your water, whatever you're mixing with. And then saturated means that it can't take or dissolve more than it already holds. So like you can't add more solution to it. It wouldn't work. It'd dilute it all down compared to what you're trying to use it for. So we have water being our universal solvent, because water is capable of dissolving just about anything. Now, when we think about water and we read our ingredient labels, on most things that I've read, the number one ingredient is water. Water being, a rose water or a, distilled water, or sometimes they make it fancy and they call it aqua purifido, which would be like, purified water. But it usually is water. Anything that we put on our skin usually comes down with water being the first ingredient. And when you read a label, the first ingredient is what is the most in that bottle. And it goes like the second ingredient has the second most, and the third ingredient has the third most. And it's like that all the way until you hit the preservative. After you hit the preservative in a label, when you read it, it doesn't matter what order they put it in after the preservative. But before the preservative, when you're reading a label, it goes in how much, that it has on there. So now we have suspensions. Okay, these are two or more kinds of molecules that are immiscible. IMMISICIBLE. That means they cannot be mixed together. They have a tendency to separate when they're left standing. Therefore, they need to be shaken before use. So an example would be like a vinegar and oil salad dressing, right? That's a suspension. Products that may be used in the beauty industry that when they're setting separate would be like a nail polish, foundation, makeup foundation after left a while will separate. That Pink's medicine that you give your kids, you always got to shake well. Anything that says shake well before using is a suspension, because you want to make sure that you disperse those molecules together. And they'll come out evenly. Like eye makeup remover, how that always has that oil setting on top. Well, the girls know this. You always have to shake that a little bit more. So they separate like that. Sometimes lotions are a suspension, like a calamine lotion, that would be a suspension. Sometimes the aftershaves may be a suspension. So we got to kind of know using anything that says shake well. I always wonder why people shake their milk. I see it happen a lot. I'm like, why do you shake milk? I don't know. Maybe chocolate milk I could see shaking, but regular milk, I don't know. Okay. So now we have an emulsion. There's two types of emulsions that we use a lot, and we have oil and water. This is when two or more of immiscible substances are held together with a binder. They unite them together and they make them stay together so they will not separate with what is called a binder or a gum-like substance or a emulsifier. Okay, these are like lotions, like regular type of like a Jergens lotion or something, that would separate. They're held together with a gum-like binder. It could also be like a soap too. Okay, but there's some of the general classifications there that are your perm solutions and your cold creams, or like a lotion, that are held together. Okay, so that's an emulsion. There's 6 of them. You're going to have to know what the definitions are and what they mean. They'll ask for examples of a solution. They'll ask what a solvent is. They might ask what a suspension is. The test might ask what immiscible means or what miscible means. So those are some of the terms that you'll have to know. Okay, so then we have a ointment. Ointments are generally medicated. Okay, there are some that are not, but if you think about the things that are really thick, they're organic substances and a medicinal agent. Okay, they are usually found in a semi-solid form, and water usually is not in these types of ointments. So if you think of things like Vaseline, Aquaphor, Carmex, you know, some chapsticks. You're probably not going to find water in there, but it will have some type of medicine to help, you know, heal whatever you may have. Some like hair paste or hair wax could be in an ointment form because they are kind of, you know, greasy and held together like that, but they may not have the medicinal agent in it, but it could be an ointment type preparation for like a hair product. We have soaps. Okay, soaps are a mixture of fats and oils. They get mixed together. They're converted usually with heat and then purified. So soaps that we would use in the industry might fall into like a deodorant soap, a beauty soap, a medicated soap, a liquid soap. You know, those we use those, right? Shampoo could be a soap. So those are some of the things I do with soaps. And then powders. Powders, depending on how they make them, they can have organic or inorganic substances. You could have a talc powder. You could have a mineral powder, just depending on what type of powder it is. They usually don't dissolve in water very easily. And then powders have been sifted, so they're free. They're like finer textured powders. Sometimes colors, sometimes perfumes are added to powders just for some, you know, enhancement so that they're not just a plain blah, you know, powder there. But usually you will find powders in a shaker top. That's one of the things that our state board says, that when we use powders, that they have to have a shaker top. And usually, I mean, if you buy like a baby powder, it's got that little top that you twist with all the holes in it, you know, so most powders will have a shaker top. But if you're going to be using them in a shop and you're going to be dispensing them, you have to have something with the shaker, the shaker top on it, because that's what state board says. And remember, the shaker top is just the top with the holes in it. That's all it's going to say. So those are the 6 classifications. So now we're going to just go into shampoos. So remember, with the 6 classifications, you're going to have to know, you know, a solute. You're going to have to know what the solute is, what the solvent is. You're going to have to know what miscible and immiscible mean. You're going to have to know what a suspension, emulsion, ointment, soap, and powder are, like the definitions of them. That's what they're going to want you to know. Okay. So when we talk about shampoos, purpose of a shampoo, right? They are going to cleanse the hair. That's what shampoos do, right? They cleanse the hair and scalp. Okay. So shampooing, you know, a lot of people like to have their hair shampooed before they have their hair cut. A lot of people like to have their hair shampooed after they have their hair cut, just to remove any of those hairs. Also, what it does is it removes dirt, natural oil from your scalp, any hairspray, any skin debris, you know, your dead skin cells that may be shedding, anything that could adversely affect the scalp or the hair, right? So a good shampoo, should you be able to give one? Yeah, you actually really should. If you don't clean your hair properly, or your scalp improper or irregular cleansing is a breeding ground for, you know, bacteria, some diseases, dandruff, some disorders. They can even add to hair loss. So, you know, it is important. As a general rule, if your hair is oily, it needs to be shampooed more than hair that's not, or scalp that's not oily. But we want to make sure that we have the right shampoo for the client. I hear people all the time say that, you know, they have to shampoo their hair every single day because if not, it gets really oily. Sometimes it's not the shampoo that gets really oily. Sometimes it's the type of conditioner that they're using that is just not correct for your hair or your scalp, which could be adding a coating onto your hair that actually makes it look a lot more oily. Or if that conditioner is not correct for you, it could be like a magnet for, you know, the dirt and all the stuff that's in the air that actually makes your hair look more oily. So knowing the proper products to use can make a big difference too. So how does shampoo work? Well, even though the hair strand beyond the scalp is dead, the acid mantle that we have, which is on our skin. It's a mixture of dead skin cells, sebum, and what's the other word? Sebum and sweat, basically. So it's our sweat, it's our oil, and it's our dead skin cells. On the surface of our skin, they form together and they make what is known as the acid mantle. That's a little bit of a line of defense. It's what keeps our skin naturally like soft and pliable and things like that. It also helps maintain our pH, which gives our skin that lively appearance and the shininess and all that. So scalp, with our acid mantle on our scalp, running your hands through your hair, brushing your hair. You know, anyone ever heard that? You're supposed to brush your hair 100 times before you go to bed. You know, it takes all of that oils and it just releases it and brings it through the rest of your hair, which actually is kind of good for hair to have that on there. So most shampoos are water-based and they contain an ingredient known as a surfactant. The surfactant molecule has a head and a tail on it. Okay, the tail is the surfactant. The surfactant is what cleans the hair. Okay, it's what cleans the hair. Lipophilic means that it is attracted to oil. Hydrophilic means that it is attracted to water. So it loves water, it hates grease. The lipophilic loves the grease, hates the water. Okay, so what this does now, when you're shampooing your hair, right? So if you just use the surfactant alone, it's not going to clean your hair. It has to have the water to go with it. But we hear all the time that your shampoo needs to be sulfate free. Yes, it does need to be sulfate free, but you need a surfactant. A surfactant is a cleaning agent. Shaving cream has a surfactant in it. You know, it is a cleansing agent that removes oil from the hair. So this molecule has two parts, right? It has the lipophilic and it has the hydrophilic. What happens is during the shampoo, the water-loving part is attached to the water, while the oil-loving part is attached to the oil on the hair. The resulting push-pull action causes the oil to roll up into droplets, which are then lifted into the water and washed away. Okay, so by removing the oil from the hair strand and scalp, the water can wet the hair and scalp and the debris can be washed away. So they have these different categories here of surfactants. You have your anionics, you have your cationics, and you have your non-ionics, and you have your amphoterics. Okay. That's a word. And they to cleanse. So if we're looking at the first category, the anionics, they have a rich foam, really easy to use, sodium lauryl sulfate. If you've ever read ingredients in like soap, shampoos, sodium lauryl sulfate is used in a lot of things and it's used to cleanse, right? The next one, the cationics, has an antibacterial quality and it's used to remove dandruff compounds. That one of those is a quaternarium ammonia. So if you've heard of quats before, quaternary ammonia compound, it's basically what it is. It's just not such a strong form to disinfect our implements. It's a lot lesser strength just to help, you know, with your antibacterial qualities. The non-ionics, we do see it a lot. It's a mild cleanser. It's not very irritating. You see things in ingredients that are called a DEA or an MEA, and that's what they are. And then the amphoterics, it adds to manageability to it and it won't sting the eyes. So that's an ingredient that they have in like baby shampoos that don't sting the eyes. So, I mean, sodium lauryl sulfate, quaternarium compound, and the cosatamine DEA or MEA. I mean, you see these ingredients. You just don't know what they are because they give you these big, long chemical names and some things. but they do play a role, and they've all been proven to be safe for use on the skin. So then we use water. Think about all the stuff that we use water for. It's like crazy. Think about the days, but way back in like, 1800s when you couldn't just turn on the faucet and get water. That's just nuts. I was thinking about that the other day, how crazy it would be when if you didn't have water in your house, how crazy would that be? So what would you have to do? I mean, that would be like, it would be hard, right? We're so used to just turning on the faucet and having water come out. It would be really hard. So water, yeah, it's important, right? It's important in your success of shampooing. It's important in your life. Water can be hard or water can be soft. Okay, it is a primary ingredient in shampoo and a lot of other hard or well water, as they call it. It has a lot of minerals, calcium. Okay, so if you can see the screen, can I get like a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Okay. So water, also soft water, doesn't have a lot of minerals in it. So,
I can't see the screen, Miss Connie. All I can see is you.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this back then. Let me, all right. Let's try this again. How about now, Nick? Can you see it? Okay. So, okay, water. Yeah, and not all water tastes the same either, right? You get water like Dasani or Aquafina or something like that, and they all taste different. So if you're going to purify water, and this is where the big thing with drinking water comes in, right? So it says in order for water to be certain things like purified water, distilled water, whatever types of water, there's all has to come from a certain source. So if you have like a spring water, which I know Crystal Geyser is supposed to be a spring water, it has to go into like an actual underground spring, a natural one, and then they tap into it and they get the water out of it. They have purified water. Purified water can just be any kind of water. Like we can just go to the hose and fill up some gallons of water and purify it through either filtration systems, sedimentation, UV sterilization, all different types of sterilization. And we can call it purified water because it is purified. Then if we wanted to add minerals back into the water for some taste, we could do that too. So the water purification, right? Boiling is at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. It destroys most microbial life. However, sedimentation and filtration are two other ways to use water. So during the sedimentation process, all the undesirable substances like sand, clay, whatever we don't want in it will sink to the bottom. During the filtration, the undesirable substance passes through a porous substance that holds the undesirable stuff in it. And then sometimes they add chlorine to water because it helps further purify the water. So what type of water do you have? You know, if you go to the mountains and you wash your hair, and then you go to like the city and you wash your hair, and then you come home and you wash your hair, does it feel different? Yeah, it does. I mean, it does a lot. When I go to my mom's house and I wash my hair's like super soft. I don't even really feel like I need conditioner, but when I'm at home, I feel like I need to have conditioner. So there is a difference in the water. Okay. So this is where the shampoos make a difference with the type of water that someone has. So there's all types of classifications of shampoos. Have you ever, when was the last time you went to look at the shelves of shampoos and seen like how many different shampoos are out there? A lot. Okay, so I'm going to get on my little thing here and say, hey, guess what? You're in a professional business. You need to buy professional products. Okay, if I walked into somebody's shop and I saw them having their shampoos there like Suave or, you know, Tresemme or something like that, I would be like, okay, this is not a professional shop. I do not want to be here, right? You want to use professional products. So yeah, that's my thing. I think we need to support our industry. I have a big old long thing I can get on, but I'm not going to do it. Okay, so when we talk about the types of shampoos, there are all-purpose shampoos. Now, you're not going to really walk into some place and see a shampoo that's going to say all-purpose shampoo, which it can, but you know, plain shampoo, those are words that you're not really going to see very often. But what you're going to know about it being an all-purpose shampoo is that it has a very low alkaline content and a low concentration of active ingredients. It's designed to cleanse the hair without correcting any type of special condition. It won't strip color. It's mild. It might even include an antifungal or an anti-dandruff agent. So it's what they say, it's all purpose. It's not made for someone's hair who needs color, even though it won't strip the color. It's not like made for color treated hair. It's not made for someone who has oily scalp or dry scalp or any of that. It's just an all-purpose regular shampoo. Then we have the pH balanced shampoo. These are supposed to be formulated to the same as your hair and your skin as a 4.5 to a 5.5. Most hair types can use this. It can be referred to as a non-stripping shampoo when we're talking about hair color. So it could be one good for hair color. It's made especially to cleanse chemically treated hair without removing permanent hair color. Can be used on bleached, can be used on dry, can be used on damaged hair. So when you see a shampoo that says it's for color treated hair, more than likely it's a pH balanced shampoo. A plain shampoo is usually strong and high in alkalinity. It can be used on virgin hair in good condition, but not recommended at all for chemically treated hair. Always follow this with a rinse. So a plain shampoo could be like a clarifying shampoo, right? You always want to follow the acid rinse to restore the pH balance because it's such high in alkalinity, it's taking everything out of the hair. You want to bring it back down to the 4.5 to the 5.5. So usually those are more into like the clarifying shampoos. The soapless shampoos lather, but there's no harsh ingredients. They're also called sulfate-free shampoos, which are often recommended for people who have really curly hair or like a natural textured hair. Sulfate-free shampoos, yeah, I know a few people that have really naturally curly hair and they do like those better because it doesn't feel as stripping as your hair. With the soapless shampoos, the process, the oil in which the oil from the synthetic detergents have been treated with sulfuric acid, which results in substances known as wetting agents. Okay, they're effective in both soft and hard water and they rinse out really easily. So then we have a medicated shampoo, right? This is designed for scalp problems. So you could have a plain shampoo that they've added the medicated parts to it for dandruff. So then it becomes a medicated shampoo, right? Clarifying shampoo, very high in alkaline. Anti-dandruff shampoos, help with dandruff. They do have an antifungal or a germicidal ingredient them also. Also, the medicated shampoos can also have that too. And then they have strengthening shampoos, which are supposed to make your hair stronger. Some of them actually make your hair like add more volume to your hair, add more body to your hair. Okay. Dry shampoos are next, aerosol dry shampoos. They're just to give you like an extra day before shampooing your hair. They can also, if your hair feels like too clean or too soft, you can also use those to give it a little bit more texture and make it be like the next day dirty type of shampoo. What they have is it's packaged under pressure. It has a propellant in there, usually has an oil loving ingredient that will help absorb oil at the roots of the hair. But using a dry shampoo, you want to make sure that you hold it about 12 inches away from the scalp and try to spray the scalp and not the hair. Once you spray it on the scalp, you want to brush it through the ends of the hair. If you spray too close or you spray too much, sometimes it puts like a white flakiness onto the hair, and we want to be careful with those. We have non-aerosol powder dry shampoos, and these kind of, they like sprinkle on the hair. They usually have some type of a root powder, like an orris root or some type of a plant that will just help dry up the oils. And again, we want to brush that. Any types of powder dry shampoos or aerosol dry shampoos, we don't want to use those before we do any type of chemicals or anything like that, because they do kind of, sometimes it does feel like there's a coating on the hair. A liquid dry shampoo is for someone who can't get a normal shampoo, very drying to the hair. A lot of times liquid dry shampoos are used for wigs or hair pieces. I actually had a client once that was in the hospital and she wanted to get her hair, like she couldn't get up and she just couldn't stand her hair. She wanted me to come curl it or something, but she couldn't shampoo it. So I went to the hospital and they had this like cap of bubble wrap that they put on her head. And in each one of the bubbles was the liquid dry shampoo that they popped. And when they popped it, it just sort of rubbed into the scalp. But it did leave a coating on the hair, and I didn't care for it. It wouldn't curl either. We couldn't use a curling iron or anything on it. Okay, so we have conditioning shampoos. What conditioning shampoos is they contain a small amount of conditioner in them, and it can coat the surface of the cuticle, resulting in shine and manageability, and it can improve the strength and the porosity of the hair. And usually conditioning shampoos, they don't strip color either. Neutralizing shampoos restore the hair for a pH of a 4.5 to 5.5, usually used after relaxers. Color shampoos sometimes may contain temporary color molecules in them that can help prolong your color. So for an example, if your hair is red and it fades out really fast, if you use a red temporary color shampoo, it can help maintain the life of that red so it doesn't fade so much. Thinning hair shampoos for someone who has, balding or thinning hair. And they may contain some type of a ingredient that will provide healthy scalp environment so that the hair may grow. It could be kind of tingly too. Maybe like some tea tree or peppermint or something in there that could help stimulate the blood circulation to the scalp that may help with scalp growth. And then there's a specialty shampoo, which could be for like wigs or, hair replacements or something like that. So they do have specialty type of shampoos. So there's a lot of different shampoos for everyone. That's why finding one that works is a little bit difficult sometimes, but once you find it, you'll love it. Okay. So how does this work? Well, a pH balanced shampoo has a natural 4.5 to 5.5, which is the pH of your hair and scalp. The natural acidic conditioners are maintained during a shampoo. The cuticle scales are kept at a more compact state, and therefore minimal swelling occurs. Okay, so there's the middle is what your hair should look like, you know, if you're shampooing your hair with a pH balanced shampoo. Okay, your hair is strongest when your pH is at a 4.5 to a 5.5 because it's not swollen, it's compact, it's like where it's supposed to be. If the shampoo is too alkaline or too acidic, depending on what you're doing, it can swell your hair strand. The swelling weakens the hair and makes it more susceptible to other forms of distress, like dryness, cuticle damage, breakage, because the hair is swollen and it's not in such a maximum condition, right? Strong compacted hair looks healthier. It's easier to manage. 5 to a 5.5 the pH, especially the ends of hair. You know, you can always tell when you need a haircut if you're combing through your hair and the ends of your hair get really knotted and tangled together. Usually happens when hair is longer, Nick. I don't think you have that problem, but when hair is longer, that's usually what happens. And it's just that cuticle layer is either missing or gone, or the hair is too swollen from the shampoo or conditioner, and it's time to trim those ears. Not ears, hair, ends. What am I saying? Time to trim the ends of your hair. Trim your ears. I don't know where that came from. So when we talk about hair and manageability, these are the things that people are going to talk about, right? Cosmetic appearance. How shiny is your hair? Luster is the word in the industry that's used for shiny hair. Do you have a lot of luster in your hair or shine in your hair? If the layers of the cuticle stand away from the hair strand, it's not going to appear shiny. It's going to appear rough or it's going to appear dull. Okay. Porosity refers to the ability to absorb moisture, liquids, or chemicals. Manageability. How easily can you comb through wet hair? Is it manageable? Okay. And the elasticity. Okay, this is the ability of the hair to stretch and return to the natural shape without breaking. Healthy hair can be stretched up to about 50% when the hair is wet and 20% when the hair is dry. Tensile strength measures the amount of tension that can be applied before the hair breaks. Your hair will break eventually, but how far is it going to stretch before it breaks? If it stretches like a rubber band, that's when your hair is wet, that's not healthy. So then you have conditioners and you have rinses, which is just another tool, right? It's another tool that you want to have. Are you checking your hair, Dulce? See how strong it is. Is your hair strong? Your hair's strong. I know your hair's strong. Her hair's really strong.
It didn't break.
Yeah, it is. I can see it when you had it down that day. I was like, oh yeah, you got gray hair. Makes me jealous with my little pieces of hair. Okay, so hair becomes chemically and mechanically damaged, right? So these rinses can affect the hair. Now, if you've ever used a vinegar or a lemon rinse, vinegar kind of smells, but a lemon rinse can actually make your hair feel really good because it helps remove like the soap scum. You know how you get like soap scum in your shower? You can get soap scum in your hair too. So those are really, really nice. Sometimes things can leave a coating on your hair. So the lemon and vinegar doesn't work like a clarifying shampoo, but it does help with the manageability and the luster of your hair. Okay. Some rinses can actually detangle the hair, but that's what can cause a buildup. Okay, so like a cream rinse, yeah, not so much great to use unless your hair is really, really hard to comb through because it can coat the hair. And a lot of times it acts like a magnet for the dirt and stuff out in the hair. And it can actually make your hair appear more oily than what it really is. And then we have the medicated rinses. So medicated rinses, those would kind of help people that have like itchy scalp, oily scalp. And I'm going to give you an example of a medicated rinse would be like sea breeze. Just wash your hair and run some sea breeze through it. So if you want to
Are
make
you saying that the vinegar and lemon affect the hair?
a little bit, it can, yeah. You don't want to mix them together. Like if you want to use a vinegar rinse, right? They say to take 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar and 1 pint, which is 16 ounces of warm water. And after you shampoo your hair, you just rinse it with that. And then you don't have to, like, you don't rinse it out. You just
But not the scalp.
do
Not
what?
the scalp. Not in the scalp, or just in the hair.
No, you can put it on the scalp and hair and just like run it through. Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
put it all over the whole thing. The lemon rinse, you take 15 drops of lemon concentrated or lemon extract and add it to a pint of water also. Okay, that one I've used the lemon. I don't like the vinegar because sometimes the vinegar can like lighten the color a little bit if you have your hair like artificially colored. Plus vinegar doesn't smell good. So the lemon I do like though. And what it does is it dissolves the soap scum, untangle, separates the hair, and adds some shine to your hair. The lemon I really like. I've used it a few times and I really, really like the lemon. Sometimes like the minerals in your water kind of left through your hair, or maybe some of the fats from the shampoo, maybe just your water, buildup of your water. But the lemon feels good. I've done it to my hair probably like 5 or 6 times. It's not like putting conditioner in your hair, but it does feel a little bit different. I actually like the way it feels. I should probably do it again. Okay. Acid rinses. That's another one that's on here that we have that's not on here. But after we do a chemical service, they have these post treatments that they make, and it's like a rinse. And what that does is it helps remove the alkalinity out of the hair and bring the hair back down to more of the 4.5 to the 5.5. Helps reduce that swelling, closes down the cuticle layer, can even help it smell better after a chemical service, and just sort of brings the hair closest to the natural that you can have. Those are really nice. And that would be like your vinegar and your lemon rinse. Cream rinse, like I said, all they do is kind of coat the hair, make it easier to comb out. And then a medicated rinse, usually just pour it. If your scalp is really itchy or achy, sometimes something like Sea Breeze, just put it in a bottle and squirt it on your scalp. Can actually, help with the itchiness or oh, what the heck was I doing? Can help with the itchiness or the flakiness or something like that. But Sea Breeze usually feels pretty good too. So what conditioners do? This is what conditioners do for our hair. It's actually an important step for longer hair. If your hair is like shaved to a number 1 all over, conditioners aren't really necessary, But if your hair is longer, especially, some of the guys that wear their hair longer too, and girls, conditioners will help detangle. They can help with the heat damage. They can add moisture to the hair. They can do a lot of different things to the hair. In order to receive they can even help build strength back and help repair some of the bonds that may be damaged. So sometimes they'll tell you like put the conditioner on, leave it on for 30 seconds to a minute and like rinse it off. Other conditioners may say put it on the hair and leave it on for 10 minutes and then rinse it off, just depending on what type of conditioner you're using and what you want to help correct. So hair damage generally refers to the bonds, like the dissolidified bonds. They've been broken through things of chemical services or through like heat styling. So sometimes it comes to the point where you just have to cut the hair. Like you can't repair these bonds back. You know, you want to try to hold them on as much as possible, but conditioners can alter the way the hair behaves too. So they're a temporary remedy for a hair problem. They're not going to like repair and fix it. They're just, it's like a Band-Aid, right? It's going to help with this. So when we talk about the types of conditioners that we have, oh, it didn't go through that. Nope. Okay. Well, let's just go back then. We have instant conditioners. These are the ones that are going to be there for like 30 seconds or less. Normalizing conditioners. They have a pH which causes the cuticle to close after chemical services. There's bodybuilding ones that are going to actually swell the hair, add more moisture and like swell it up a little bit. The moisturizing conditioners are going to do the same thing. They're going to add moisture. There's also protein conditioners that I don't see on here. Maybe that would be a specialty one. Customized conditioners, which are going to meet your client's needs. So what do you need? Do you need detangling? Do you need protein? Do you need moisture? You know, what is it that you need in a conditioner? Do you need it to detangle? Do you need all of it? So there's certain ingredients that are used. Okay, so a common one would be an animal protein. Okay, so usually you get an animal or a vegetable. Very few come from minerals. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but for the most part, you're gonna find an animal protein in conditioners is a bovine serum. It's refined and sterilized cattle tissue, such as blood and bone marrow. The refined placentas of female cattle and sheep are collagen, also popular animal protein. In hair conditioners. You're going to find another comes said, but sheep's wool has a lot of amino acids in it that human hair keratin down and use it in the conditioners. Vegetable proteins a lot of times come from soybeans, olives, wheat germ, tom beans. There are several vegetable and animal proteins. Just depending on how they refine them, but a conditioner doesn't. Some additional ingredients may be fatty alcohols and acids. Now we hear alcohol, everyone's always told not to buy anything that has alcohol because alcohol can be drying, but there are fatty alcohols which are moisturizing, so that does make a difference. They also make your hair easier to comb. So just because you see alcohol in an ingredient, don't automatically think that that's off the shelf. Find out what type of alcohol is in that, because that does make a difference. Okay, some clients might think that these conditioners make their hair too soft, or they might like weigh it down, which yeah, that can happen. But then that's not the conditioner for your client. If their hair feels too soft or weighed down, it's not the right one for them. Okay, conditioners used sparingly. So when you shampoo someone's hair, right, you're shampooing the scalp more than the hair. So you want to make sure that that scalp gets really clean. And yeah, you pull it through the hair, but for the most part, you know, when you're shampooing, you're cleansing the scalp because the hair is really not that dirty compared to the scalp. But when you use a conditioner, you want to start at the ends and work your way towards the scalp, because the ends of the hair usually need more conditioner than the scalp itself. So it's kind of like a little backwards when you're doing that. Hair tonics, these are used in barbering. They're leave-in products. You leave them in the hair. They have a very wide variety out there of what hair tonics are used for. Some are used for manageability in the hair, for like styling or something. Others are used to help control dandruff. They're used for stimulating the scalp. Sometimes hair tonics will follow scalp treatments. It really just depends on what the needs are of the client. So there are a lot of different hair tonics. And a lot of times the hair tonics will contain alcohol. So again, find out what type of alcohol that is. Okay, so scalp conditioners, they can be found in all types of lotions and tonics and creams for the scalp. So again, knowing your ingredients and knowing what these are for are going to help you be able to make the right choices for your client. So conditioners will usually penetrate more into the hair, where rinses will set more on the scalp or on the surface of the hair itself. Okay, so those are the differences in like conditioners versus rinses. There's a lot of product information out there, but the thing that I say to do is just start reading labels. That's what I did. I was really amazed at what toothpaste has. Read the ingredients of toothpaste and look up what they have. No wonder they tell you not to swallow your toothpaste. Okay, so unless you have like an all supernatural one. But remember, most of the time you're going to be buying a shampoo or a conditioner for the specific type of hair, like color treated hair, non-color treated hair. Do you need to detangle with the conditioner? Do you need to add moisture or add protein to a conditioner? But just a little FYI about protein reconstructors. Okay, not so much a conditioner, but a reconstructor, which would be something that you would put on the hair and leave on for your 10 minutes or so. If your hair is dry and brittle and breaking, and you start using a protein reconstructor and it makes it better, and you use it, say twice a week for 10 minutes or once a week for 10 minutes for like 4 months, and your hair starts feeling better, then all of a sudden your hair starts getting worse, starts breaking again, starts feeling brittle again. You have too much protein. Too much protein in your hair will make it feel dry and brittle, just like not enough protein in your hair can make it feel dry and brittle. So how do you know which is which? You'll see the difference in the results. Once your results start being positive, stop using it as often, and then maybe back off to once a month. If you're using it every 2 weeks, maybe back off to once a month. Same thing with moisture. Too much moisture in your hair is going to make your hair feel limp, and it could feel even more dry. So there's a fine line in between there. Knowing the product and how it works and what the manufacturer's recommendations are is going to help you, be able to help other people too on what they need. So, do you need moisturizer? Do you need a antimicrobial, something that's going to help with dandruff or itchy scalp or dry scalp? Do you need a thickener? Do you need color in it? And how I said that some alcohols are good for you, but we see alcohol and we freak out. Cetyl alcohol, CETYL, is a fatty alcohol. It keeps the oil and water from separating, and it's also a foam booster. So probably has it in mousses or shaving creams because it does the foam, but that helps with moisture also. So when you see something, this is what I thought. I could not figure out what this word was for the longest time. And when I looked it up, I could not believe it. OLEIC, OLEIC acid. I've seen that in a lot of products. And that's olive oil. They have a fancy name for olive oil, but that's all it is olive oil. So I was like, what is that? An acid? Yeah, olive oil. So, familiarize yourself with some of the ingredients that are out there, because you are definitely going to find different ingredients and things. So this is part of the analyzation, right? So these agencies right here, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, the USP, which is, let me make sure I get this right, United States Pharmacopoeia, and the International Cosmetic Ingredient Dictionary and Handbook, or Google. No, but you want to have safety data sheets. Alejandro, you're writing on my screen. You want to have your safety data sheets for your shampoos and conditioners also that are going to be in there. So here we go. Who do I got first? Hillary. Solutions separate when left standing. True or false?
True.
Okay. Nick. A solute.
True.
Any substance that dissolves, able to dissolve another substance, is known as a. It's the one that's dissolving it. So that one would be a solvent. So we have a, let's see, Alejandro, a cosmetic classification formed when two or more immiscible substances are united with the help of a binder. Which one is that?
I'm sorry, Miss Connie. I probably missed that one. I don't know that answer.
Okay. So I'm gonna say it would
I think
be,
it's an emulsion.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. An emulsion. An ingredient, okay, Hillary, let's come back to you. An ingredient found in shampoo that removes oil from the hair.
I would say alcohol, maybe.
Well, it's part of the surfactant. Well, maybe I could be wrong. I was thinking it was lipophilic, but I could be wrong on that one. Okay, Nick. A type of shampoo designed to cleanse hair without correcting any special condition.
Shit, I don't know that one, Miss Connie.
Okay, I'm gonna say that that one could be, let's see how much I can remember, huh? Known as a plain shampoo.
We clarifying shampoo. Clarifying doesn't.
Which one's clarifying? Is that the one that repairs it?
No, clarifying is the one that's gonna like strip it out.
Okay.
Without just any type of shampoo that doesn't correct anything special, because it's not correcting anything. So I'm thinking it's probably just gonna be a plain shampoo because it's just not doing anything special, right? It's not correcting any kind of condition or anything. Nope, see, I was totally wrong. I just looked it up. Maybe it's an all-purpose shampoo, right? Plain is strong and alkaline, it says. So I think maybe that's an all-purpose. Okay, who do we got? Dulce. A type of shampoo formulated to have the same pH as the hair and skin is referred to as being what? I'm gonna say that would be like your pH
I think
balance.
it's normalizing shampoo.
I think the keyword there, it says the same pH as the hair and skin. So I think it would be a pH balanced shampoo, which could be normalizing too, right? When we think about it. They have so many names here. Okay, Alejandro, a product applied to help close the cuticle and make hair feel soft and manageable is called a what? You there, Alejandro?
Hello?
Are we
Hello?
here? Yeah, number 8, Alejandro, you got number 8? Some kind of condition.
It's kind of my internet over here must be shitty because it's keep cutting in and out, and
Okay.
no, I do not know the
Okay.
day.
Product help to close the cuticle and make it feel soft and manageable. I'm thinking that that's a rinse, but we'll find out. Hillary, a product used to fortify damaged areas and protect the hair from further damage.
Conditioner?
Okay, I don't know. Yeah, see, this tells us what we need to learn, huh? Nick, the ingredients on product labels are listed in order of their, do you remember that? I said that earlier.
I don't, Miss Funny. What is it?
It would be, I think it would be like the order of their concentration, or I don't know what the word is they're looking for. Okay, so we have false, we have true, okay, solvent, emulsion, surfactant. Oh, it's a surfactant. Okay, I said lipophilic, but it's the whole thing. Okay. All-purpose, pH balanced, or rinse. Okay, rinse. A conditioner. Okay. And concentration. Okay, there we go. Jeez. It's going to be a little bit harder. So yeah, we're going to have this test this week. I can give it to you on Friday, which will give you a couple of days to study. And then we're going to start on, what's the next chapter? I got to find out what the next chapter is. So that's what we're going to start on there. So do you guys have any questions on this? No, no more questions. All right. So tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah. So we get to see all your bright, shiny faces tomorrow. Yay. So I'll see you guys and have a good one. Bye.